cyborg geishas that assassinate people. It's a Japanese movie. It's really, really bad. People have knives coming out of all sorts of parts of their bodies at random times in the movie. It's got terrible CGI. I love it so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome back to the Great and Grim podcast. He's great.
He's grim.
And he's Larry.
Hi, guys.
So, today, we are going to start with the show that I finally finished watching, which is The Expanse.
Woo!
Boo!
Woo!
Boo this man!
Boo. I mean, the first season and a bit was good. I haven't finished it, but...
Is that as far as you made it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was hoping you'd at least have finished season 3.
No, I don't think I have.
Well, that's your fault, so it's all gonna be ruined for you.
Whatever. I'll live. I'm reading the books anyway. They're better.
Well, there's also like 9 of them, and I'm pretty sure that the last 3 go beyond the show.
Oh yeah, I would assume.
But yeah, for me, season 1, really, really, really good. Really tight, great story. 2 and 3, also really solid, though they kind of mesh together at that point for me, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in those 2 seasons, and they kind of are kind of mashed together, so I can't remember particular events in which season they belong to. And then season 4 isn't bad. I know a lot of people were down on it. I didn't think it was terrible. Thought it was okay. Season 5 I hate. It is the worst season known to man, and it's the biggest waste of time I've ever encountered in my entire freaking life. And then season 6 is good as a season. It's terrible as the end of the show.
Better or worse than Game of Thrones?
Oh,
I
better.
never watched
Definitely
Game
better.
of Thrones, so
I watched all of that. Definitely better. I agreed that it was a good end, but yeah, I see what you mean by it didn't resolve everything in this nice tidy bow. I wish there was more, but there isn't, and I'm sad about that, but at least there's the books.
I mean, season 5 is a waste of time. Season 5 could have been put into like episode 1 of season 6, and you wouldn't have lost anything.
Alright, now I always mix up the seasons. What happened in season 5 again?
Season 5 is... Okay, so like season 1 to 3, I already said it's a mixture of stuff that I can't really recall. Season 4 is when they go through the ring and they're on the planet, and they expand upon the aliens that exist. And then season 5 is they ignore all of that, and the Belters like nuke Earth with asteroids.
Spoilers.
And then the entire episode or the entire season is just Naomi crying and trying to get her son to leave the Belter fleet or whatever, and then she cries and cries some more, and then she hides on that little ship, which is going to be a trap for our crew, and she cries again, and
I liked
then they
it.
rescue her. No,
I really
it's bad.
like Naomi. She was dealing with so much stuff.
No, Naomi's insufferable. She's insufferable, and I hate her, and she pisses me off beyond belief, and I effing hate her so much. Everything about her's terrible. And then there's Amos, who's on Earth, trying to escape with Peaches.
I have a different opinion.
Peaches.
Your opinion's wrong.
I mean, you're allowed to have an opinion.
No, it's wrong. It's all wrong. Everything about her pisses me off. I hate her. Amos is amazing. He's the greatest. The problem is that, again, also with season 5, is they literally just split everybody up, so it becomes weaker because you don't have them interacting like as they did.
It's an ensemble story. Like, you're not supposed to split them up.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I wonder if they split them up in the books. I'm only on, like, the 3rd one.
I mean, Amos is always good. Like, everything about Amos is amazing. His best line ever, which you didn't get to, is, "You're not that guy. I'm that guy."
I mean, it was a good line, but...
Well, the scene was great. I mean, I knew it was coming, but I love that, because that's like...
Yeah, the scene was
Amos.
great. It was where he was called someone's best friend in the whole galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice and touching.
Yeah, man. Amos is a great
You're
character.
nice and touching.
So, ready, we're going into the deep dive. So, right off the bat, Naomi's always pissed me off, mostly because they're trying to do... Well, they sit there, they get the proto-molecule, and they're like, how are we going to deal with this proto-molecule? What do we want to do with it? We're going to agree as a group, and then that's what we're doing, right? You know, part of the crew, part of the ship. We are a family and tight-knit. And then they decide that they're going to shoot it off into the sun. Deal. But Naomi disagrees, and so Naomi hides it behind an asteroid and doesn't tell anybody because she knows best. And so then a bunch of stuff happens later on, this, that, and the other thing. They think they're going to die and all this crap, and Naomi wants to defend the belt, so she just gives the proto-molecule over to people of the belt and goes, yeah, I did that. And it's like, well, you literally just slapped us all across the face. Like, how can we trust you? And so then it's always her being like, why don't you trust me? I do this, that, and the other thing. And then season...
Wait, does she actually ask them, why they don't trust her after she does.
Not exactly, but she has a bunch of she mopes about like, I did what I thought was best. Why aren't you guys like supporting me? And she goes off and like joins the Belter crew for a bit, and then comes back. And then she comes back and she's like, hey guys, I'm actually here to help. And they like welcome her back. And then season 4, they have to land on like the planet, the ring planet. But it turns out that her body's not compatible with like gravity, so they have to take a bunch of pills, and it doesn't do well for her, and she can't handle it, so she needs to go back. But she hides it. She is the zombie bite person. The person gets bit by the zombie and hides it and says everything's fine. So then she like almost dies in season 4 because it turns out her body can't handle it, and they finally save her. And then it's like, why didn't you tell us? Because I didn't want to. And it's like, F you, Naomi, you're the effing worst. And then just everything about her is insufferable. And then she goes on her little journey with her son and cries a bunch. And so then Peaches joins the crew, and because season 6 is so short, everything gets like rushed through really quickly. So it's like this weird situation in like a single episode where Naomi's like, again, all the stuff is I'm spoiling everything, but Naomi's like, oh, you think you can take over, crap, why can't I remember his name? Who's the cowboy? Anyone?
Which character is this?
The
Are
cowboy.
you talking about the pilot?
Yeah, the pilot.
Alex?
The cowboy.
Oh, Alex. Yeah.
She's like, you think you can just take over Alex's position and everything will be fine, but it won't be, blah, blah, blah. And then literally...
because they had to, like, kill him because he sexually harassed a bunch of people.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Nothing ever... Yeah. After he left the show, I mean, nothing ever came of it as far as I'm aware, but who knows?
Amazon found enough evidence that they fired him,
yeah,
right?
I mean... not a good look.
I mean, the question is, again, this is all alleged. We don't know. Like, I don't know if they found evidence or if the allegations were enough to have him lose his job. No one knows. But it's obviously not a good look for them. Well, for anyone, if we're honest. So then she has a hissy fit about, you're trying to take over Alex's position. No, you'll never be part of this crew. And then they, like, have a talk with her, and it's like, you have done a lot of stuff against us. And we keep letting you back, like the proto-molecule. Because, spoiler, she gives it to the Belters, and then the Belters, when they do their big rise up crap, they steal the proto-molecule. And it's like, great, that's what you need. And then at the end of the episode, Naomi does this big whole, reconciliation. Oh, you can be part of the ship now. F you, Naomi. It's literally, we're all in this together, and we're all working really hard together as a team to try to get through these really tough situations. Until Naomi decides that she doesn't agree with it, and then she does her own thing and doesn't give a crap about anybody else.
I thought she was a very human character. I didn't really mind that she made some dumb decisions. Holden made some really dumb decisions.
Yeah,
pretty constantly, actually.
And it's nice, though, because he makes a lot of really stupid decisions, but even in season 6, like, Amos calls him out. He's like, what the F are you doing here? Like, why are we fighting this then if you're doing this? And then, Holden talks about it, and, they mostly figure it out. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, for the big decisions, now again, the stakes really lower, which is a big problem with the show, I think. But for the big decisions when they were trying to deal with the proto-molecule and everything, they're all out of their depth, and there's literal crazy aliens running around killing and destroying space stations and all this stuff. You really need to have a group that you can trust. And Naomi starts off really strong, and then she just becomes insufferable, and I can't stand her.
I thought there were some good parallels between Holden in the latest season messing with a missile. And then Naomi had messed with a missile when she hid the proto-molecule in the earlier seasons. I thought it worked.
I mean, they're very different things, though. One has the ability to destroy all human life, and the other is...
stop a war.
Well, not kill her son.
And stop a whole war.
A war that was dumb to begin with and was a waste of time.
I mean, it was killing so many people, including all of Earth, but... yeah.
Well, the problem is that, and I mean, shows have this problem, and it goes both ways. For example, look at Supernatural. We have to kill a demon. Okay, we killed a demon. Now we have to defeat the King of Hell. Okay, we defeated the King of Hell. Now we have to kill Satan. Okay, we killed Satan. Defeat an angel. We defeated an angel. And then it's, okay, what do we do next? Oh, I know. Now we have to fight Leviathan, which is like an otherworldly, like Cthulhu race that's coming through. And it's going to kill all humanity. Okay, we killed that. Now what? Now we have to fight all the angels. And that's where I stopped watching the show, right? Power creep can be bad. But it's not bad when you build up to something, which is what the Expanse was doing, right? Like the whole proto-molecule thing, and then it makes the ring. And then season 4, even though it was less action-y, they go through the ring and they start exploring, and then they have the inspector as the weird robot thing, and they find that weird ring that he goes through and all that, and you're like, oh, the alien mystery. And it's like, season 5, oh yeah, we're just going to drop all of that in order to do this Belter War. And it's like, no, we're doing the alien stakes here. And the only nod that the show gives to the aliens is pretty much in the last episode when the proto-molecule gets stolen. And Holden says, like, when I go through the ring, I feel that something's watching me, and I don't know what it is, and it's really spooky. And that's the only nod the show gives in season 5 to the aliens. And so by the time season 6 comes around, it's the final season, well, there's nothing to build off for the aliens from season 5, so they just ignore it essentially entirely and just finish off the Belter War.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's lame, because they're fighting for, like, resources and all this, but you literally are talking about the fact that you have, like, 4,000 rings open with infinite amount of materials. I can understand needing to fight to control the ring, right, and how to get through that, but I want to hear about the aliens and beyond the rings. I don't want to go back to the small-scale Earth.
Yeah, and while I agree it would have been a lot more interesting to see more alien stuff, I thought it was sort of a statement that no matter what's going on, humans are just angry at each other and bickering about resources and who gets what and all that. Even when there's aliens that could destroy everything, the bickering doesn't stop.
Yeah, I will say, and I anyone can clarify on this because I'm not rewatching season 5. I refuse. I hate it because Naomi's the worst. But it's really odd because as far as I understood it, there are 2 alien races. You have the aliens who made the proto-molecule and the rings, and then you have the aliens who destroyed the proto-molecule aliens.
Yeah.
Because they make it sound like the proto-molecule aliens started, expanding and doing all that stuff, which then woke up the bad aliens who destroyed them all. And so they shot off their proto-molecules throughout the world in order to try to, survive, right? Am I right on that? That's what I remember.
Sure, that sounds about right.
I mean, it's very vague because they don't talk about it much in season 5. And then, so then they're sitting there and it's like, okay, so then the aliens who are in the ring that are waking up, are those then the proto-molecule aliens, or are those the aliens who destroyed the proto-molecule aliens again?
I was thinking it was the proto-molecule ones, and then they had like a chained proto-molecule destroyer thing, which is what happened at the end of that season.
I thought the ones who were watching them when they used the rings were the evil aliens, because weren't the proto-molecule aliens using those rings, which then woke up the evil aliens to destroy them?
Yeah, I figured the ones in the rings were the non-proto-molecule ones.
Yeah. So the problem is that they because season 5 is so focused on the Belter War, they just kind of like throw those lines in that final episode before they lose the proto-molecule, and I get confused and lose track. Because that's the stuff I really care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, the only thing I can say for it is I think that the showrunners may have thought that when Amazon took over the show, they'd have free reign so they could continue doing, like, slow-paced 20-episode seasons, which is why they did that really slow season 5, and then Amazon's like, no, only one more season left, finish it off, and they scrambled and realized they'd wasted a bunch of time.
Yeah, I mean, it was their most expensive show, wasn't it?
I think it was Sci-Fi's most expensive show, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it went from Sci-Fi to somewhere else, and then I think Amazon picked it up.
And I mean, people loved it, but people also loved Game of Thrones, and they were essentially told to wrap it up as well.
From what I understand for Game of Thrones, and I mean, again, there's conjecture all over the place for this stuff, it's that HBO wanted them to have more seasons and was willing to throw more money at them, but the showrunners were like, no, I'm tired of this, I don't want to do this. I just got a nice fat contract with Netflix or with like Lucasfilm and Netflix for a Star Wars show. I want to go do that, so they just like decided to rush and end the show, and it pissed everybody off, and it was done terribly. So it wasn't actually on HBO. HBO was willing to be like, we will give you 8 more seasons if you want, and the showrunners like, no, I don't want to. which is hilarious because then they ruined their flagship show, and spoiler alert, they also lost their contract for the Star Wars Netflix show, and they pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth because nobody will watch anything they put out because of how much they ruined Game of Thrones.
It was a really disappointing season.
I mean, the only thing I know from it, because I only ever watched the first episode of season 1, but like I watched all those, YouTube breakdowns of how terribly done everything was.
I mean, I really like the actors still. That never changed. The set design, all the CGI, all that I thought was really good. There was just little inconsistencies, like a character would teleport across the world. In a big fight, some army of boats just magically appeared where no one was looking. Meanwhile, they were flying in on a dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
Daenerys just forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Yeah.
Like, the showrunners literally said that. Like, oh yeah, she just forgot about the fleet. That's why. No. Also, I did see, because of course they put in clips for the YouTube videos where they're, like, deconstructing how terrible Season 8 is. And that big battle, aside from how stupidly it was done, tactic-wise, let's charge all of our Dothraki just
the one
straight
at night,
on against an undead foe, right? And let's put all of our trebuchets and artillery in front of the wall. That's smart.
I was yelling at the TV during that.
But more importantly...
And let's just send a whole bunch of Dothraki and then make their army bigger.
Yeah, and
right, like...
I'm not going to say I know a ton about medieval warfare, but I thought a bunch of stuff they did was obviously dumb.
And then don't forget the fact that right after, when they march on whatever that city is, the Dothraki army's back, and it's fine.
Yeah, came back from the dead.
But more importantly, that battle with the Winterfell is just, like, it's really dark. You can't see anything.
Like, you could be making a point with that in the show, but that's not good TV,
it's not
really.
fun to watch.
No.
Would you like to see nothing while noise happens? No.
Why, yes, I would.
No, if you want to do that, then you can just do a, BBC audio play. Quick, bring the trebuchets to the front of the wall. Quick, build this. No, you're all dumb. But yeah, the point is that it made me want to read the books of The Expanse. So hopefully it's better.
Go.
It'll be far down my list because I have so many books I need to read.
Yeah, me too. I've got a whole library.
It doesn't help that I'm buying more this weekend, so...
Well, that's on you. You should know better by this point.
It's not my fault. It's a good deal, okay?
Who else am I going to blame?
It is absolutely your fault.
It's a good deal, and the odds of finding these books is relatively low, so it's not my fault.
You don't have to buy it.
Yes, I do. It turns out that Kijiji's stupid, though, and I hate it.
What did it do?
Well, I mean, it's the person I'm dealing with. So, Black Library, which is the publishing house for Warhammer, if you aren't aware.
Yes, I knew that.
Releases yearly, starting like 2018, what they call like an anniversary celebration book, which is like a 100-page book, has like short stories in it, as teasers to try to get people to buy books, and it's free. So if you go to stores, you can just pick it up, right? So I didn't realize they were a thing, and so I'm currently missing 2 of them, and the odds of finding them again are relatively slim because the books are free, right? People just grab them, and if they don't like it, they just chuck them in the garbage because to them it's free crap. So I found a seller on Kijiji, and I was like...
But it's important.
Well, yeah. He's got a collection.
I totally get it.
But yeah, so and it's relatively cheap, and I have people going up to Edmonton this weekend, so I just emailed the guy on Kijiji. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in this lot for posted price. I'm coming up next weekend. Does that work for you? I get ignored for like 3 days, and then he goes, yeah, that sounds good.
He was seeing if any of the other offers were going to come through.
Well, I mean, the post had been up for months, and clearly no bites. So anyway, so then I'm like, okay, dick nut. So I'm like, I'm coming up on Friday or Saturday. Do either of those days work for you? And he goes, yes, that works for me. I'm just like, dang it. Okay, this is the hotel I'm staying at. Does Saturday between 11 and 2 sometime there work for you at the lobby of this hotel then? Finally responds, no, I'm on the other side of the city, so that's like a 40-minute drive one way for me. That's too far. I'm like, dang it.
You could have set the meeting point.
I know. So then I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, I don't live in your city. Where can we meet to make this exchange? And he goes, do you have a car? I was like, dang it, dude. Yes, I have a vehicle. So then finally today, he's like, does, this shopping center work for you? And I was like, yes, that shopping center will work for me. What time on Saturday would you like to meet there in front of which store? And he hasn't responded yet. Like, it's super simple. It could have been message number 2. You say, no, that doesn't work for me. does X spot at X time work for you? Because clearly my spot doesn't work for me or for you. My hotel is too far for you. So then you should be telling me a spot that works for you, and then I can say yes or no, and we work from there.
I gotta say, this is a lot of work for a free book.
Yeah.
Although it won't be free.
I mean, it's actually 3 books that I'm buying.
Oh, okay.
It's like a hardcover, a softcover, and then the free one, which I actually want, for like $20. So it's honestly like a pretty good deal, even though I already own the other 2 books, so I'm just going to sell them, because whatever, I'll sell them for cheap, because I don't give a crap.
And keep dealing with Kijiji?
Well, I'll sell them on like eBay.
Alright.
Because eBay's really easy. eBay, if they want it, they just press buy, and then I ship it.
Yeah.
But like this Kijiji, like, it's like I'm talking to a mental midget. Like, I just don't understand. He's done, like, you can check their profiles, and he's done deals before, and he supposedly has a 4.5-star rating out of 5, and it's easy negotiation, great to deal with. No, this guy is stupid and doesn't understand the basics of how you figure something out of how to meet.
I have a feeling his rating's gonna go down.
I mean, so long as the books are in fine condition, then it'll be fine. Like, I don't care. But, like, so infuriating beyond belief. Like, I can't imagine how stupid this person must be. I hope he never listens to this. If you are, well, you suck, guy. Like,
and by this point, you'll probably have the books, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. But wow. So hopefully that'll turn out okay in, this weekend. But wow.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Kijiji sucks.
I mean, this seems more like a person problem than inherently a Kijiji problem.
Kijiji needs one of those skill testing questions, because then that guy wouldn't have an account anymore. Well, then it wouldn't have my books either. So
yeah, you'd
nobody wins.
Kind of be.
Yeah. Not me. I wouldn't win.
Well, yeah, nobody wins. He doesn't get to sell his stuff, and you don't get to buy it.
I mean, to be fair, the stuff that he's selling could easily be sold for way more online. Especially the fact that one of the books is a hardcover.
Well, that's why you're buying it. To resell.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, the other thing that I could have done been like, oh, it's $20 for all 3 books. Well, how much are they for each individual book then, right? Because I'm like, they're clearly not worth the same. One hardcover, one softcover, one like half a book. But then it'd be a whole fiasco clearly with this guy where it'd be like, the free book for $5, that's not even worth me leaving my house for. No. So I'm just like, I'm taking them all. If I can deal with it later, thank you.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, so there's my griping about stuff. What have you guys been up to?
Not much on my end. Started watching a delightful show. I wanted something just nice and easy because, I don't know, got a lot of stress in my life these days. So I watched The Owl House. So
what's that about?
Yeah.
So you've both watched Gravity Falls, if I remember correctly?
Not only have I watched it, I own it on DVD.
Excellent.
I do not own it on DVD. I have watched it. I don't think I got to see the end.
You didn't see how they killed God.
Definitely did not see that. I need to go back and rewatch this show.
It's a good show.
Apparently, when they were trying to brainstorm how to beat the big bad guy of Gravity Falls, Bill, who is essentially God, they were doing this all on a whiteboard, and they just wrote how to kill God. And no one was allowed to erase anything from this whiteboard, so they would leave the meeting room, go do other things, come back. But in the meantime, they just had the phrase, how do you kill God, on a whiteboard that tons of people had to go through the same meeting room to do other things with. And I don't know, I just think that's hilarious to be reminded that someone's brainstorming something like that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because of that whiteboard it somehow rolled into Owl House, but I guess not.
I was waiting for this to tie into
how
Owl
it
House.
Rolls into Owl House. The creator of Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch, who also voices Bill, voices one of the main characters, well, a few of the main characters in the Owl House. So you have this tiny demon who complains about how people don't take him seriously and think he's fierce, and he's essentially a puppy. And you essentially have the voice of Bill, this god character who caused so much shit in the previous show, being this adorable little critter who is just railing on the woes of the world and how no one takes him seriously. He also plays a door in the show, a door called...
door.
Yep, a Hootie the Door, because it is the Owl House, and he's essentially an owl face on the front of the door who can also extend his body into a really gross worm, and it's fantastic. The show really has the same...
a kid's show?
Yeah, it's a kid show. It's got a similar humor style to Gravity Falls. There's a lot of parallels, I find, like that. It's a normal kid thrust into a slightly magical world. It's very magical. And it's fun. I would definitely recommend it if you like the aforementioned Gravity Falls.
And is it over? Has it finished?
It's not. I think they have declared that there's only 1 season left, and then maybe some 3 extra episodes or something like that. So it's ending sooner rather than later. They're not going to keep this going forever.
Okay, because I remember with Gravity Falls, it was only like the 2 seasons, but then their airing schedule was complete crap and terrible, and it took them like 2 years to finish 1 season.
Yeah, which is why I fell off.
Yeah, I think a lot of people fell off because of that.
Which was a shame. And I think something similar may happen with this show, because there's a lot of people who really love it, but Disney maybe doesn't love it quite as much as they do, so they'll just get it out when they get it out, and they're not going to think about it too hard.
I mean, that's the issue with cartoon shows in general, regardless of what they are. It's really hard to have, like, you know, anime has actual, for the most part, like, plots that progress through.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like, I don't know why in the West, but, like, their airing schedule when I was a kid, aside from Dragon Ball Z, I know, but it's a Z, whatever, every other show, Pokemon, Digimon, what have you, they just pretty much aired them willy-nilly. Like, there was one when I was older that I saw on, like, Teletoon or something. It was Chaotic or something. I think it was called Chaotix. And that had a full plot, but they just didn't give a crap. They just aired whatever episode they wanted to at any given time. So you never had any clue what was going on.
Yeah, like if you tried to follow Pokemon or whatever, it wasn't in order. I found whenever I could catch it.
I guess I don't... Oh, right, I didn't get to watch TV as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't have cable, so I watched at other friends' houses.
That's why none of this... I don't remember any of this.
If I remember right, you had a bunch of VHSs of Pokemon.
Yes, I did.
I have a single VHS of Pokemon.
Which one?
But it was... I was allowed to watch, like, a movie if I wasn't allowed to watch TV.
It's literally right here. It is called Pokemon Fighting Tournament, and it contains the TV episodes The Punchy Pokemon, Sparks Fly for Magnemite, and Dig Those Diglett.
Fantastic.
I don't even know if
Sounds
those
wonderful.
were like supposed to, if those are in order or if they're just 3
I think
random
they
ones
are.
that they decided.
I would suspect they're in order, but...
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know, but that's the only one I have.
Yeah, back when we used to rent videos, way back in the day, every now and again we'd get a Pokemon one when I was a kid. Saz Video, that was the local video store. Love that thing. Right next to Little Caesars. Great Friday nights.
Hey, we went to Rogers Video, which was right beside a Little Caesars.
Convenient.
Yeah.
We went to Blockbuster, which was close enough to the Chinese food restaurant.
I mean, we went to Blockbuster before Rogers Video opened. When Pokemon Snap was released, and you could, like, take pictures and bring them to your local Blockbuster to have them, printed into stickers. I still have some, yeah. We did that.
Wait, that's dope. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I have a list. I don't know if I still have it. It should be somewhere hidden in one of my rooms. I should have all the little stickers of when I captured Mew in Pokemon Snap.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I used to watch those Pokemon VHSs, so every couple weeks I get to watch 3 episodes in order.
Nice.
So gradually I got to watch some of the show. And actually, recently-ish, last year, we started watching Pokemon as a sort of background show. I think it stands up, mostly because of Jesse and James and Meowth and their antics. And just the fact that you could tell the translators were having a fun time with it. There's so many puns. My god, I love it.
Yeah, I dropped off after Ash lost the Elite Four tournament or whatever.
Yeah, I just watched all that Netflix had, and it didn't go up that far, unfortunately.
All I remember is
I only played the games.
Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? They did a small season of, I think it was only 8 episodes. I think I only watched the first one of actual Pokemon Red, the game. And so your main character is Red. And
yeah, I watched the first one. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, everyone was up in arms about it, oh, look at how great this is. I mean, usually when you say up in arms, it's a negative thing, but I guess here it's not.
Raise your swords. Celebrate.
But yeah, and so that was well received, though. I mean, generally stuff with Pokemon is well received.
I mean, Pokemon's still going.
Wait,
for
no,
a reason.
I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Pokemon is not well received anymore, as far as I can tell.
Well, it's still going.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Well, the games that they've released are, according to people who played them, are just terrible. Pokemon Sword and Shield, everybody hated it. Well, I say everybody, but the people that I watched on YouTube who were playing it, they're like, this game sucks. Why is this so terrible? Everything about it's terrible.
But do kids like it? That's
exactly, that's the thing. And then it's but Let's Go Eevee and all that, everyone's like, this sucks. It's literally just Pokemon Yellow again or some garbage.
But do kids like it?
I don't know. I don't watch 8-year-old kids. The only thing is that
probably a good thing.
They just released Pokemon Arceus or whatever.
Sounds
and
right.
It's an open world Pokemon game, kind of like Breath of the Wild, and supposedly people are really up on it. They say it's actually good, so maybe they're finally Green Freak's finally getting a hint.
Well, I mean that kind of sounds fun.
Making
to
innovation.
Me. Breath of the Wild was dope.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is the graphics are very lacking. Everyone's like, here's a screen of Breath of the Wild from 2017, and here's 2022 Pokemon Arceus, where it's like a flat, plain colored green for grass.
I don't think it's a fair comparison. Like, Pokemon has so many models that you need to make, and, like, attacks that you need to make for each one. Like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but if you're making just, a static world, it's not, procedurally generated, you could make it at least look nice.
True, and it's not like Pokemon doesn't have the money.
Yeah, exactly. Only, like, the biggest game company known to man.
If they can make Breath of the Wild work, you can make Pokemon work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully that's a good sign for Pokemon. Hopefully, they keep improving on this system, innovate it, maybe put in a hard mode or something.
Yeah, do it for the adults.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that I don't know how many kids are still playing Pokemon, if we're honest. I don't know if they've moved on.
You make it a fighting game when you're in the playing it, like, so when you fight the Pokemon, you have to control your Pokemon in the fight.
I mean, wasn't that Pokken? Was that the one? The
I don't know.
Fighting game?
I don't know.
It was like cross between
I'm
Tekken,
more
I think.
thinking
Pokken.
like you make it into like a Dark Souls.
A Dark Souls
style,
Pokemon
like,
game?
fighting game for the Pokemon battles.
When your Pokemon dies in the game, it dies in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, get gritty with it.
I mean, there was that mod I played years ago. It was one where all the Pokemon were zombies.
Yeah,
you were fighting zombies and things like that. Was it like Snake Root? Something like that. I'm definitely not remembering the name right.
Yeah, you told me about it, and I played 5 minutes, and then I asked you, so when do I get to capture the zombie Pokemon? And you said you don't, and I never touched it again. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted to capture all the zombie Pokemon.
You wanted to be a Pokemon necromancer, and I can't blame you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that seems like you're missing out by not being able to catch zombies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't been watching much else.
Nothing? You've been watching nothing else?
My background show is currently Murder, She Wrote. Great show.
Which is fantastic.
I'm going to be honest, I've never seen it.
It has the greatest intro theme known to man.
There is no way you haven't seen Murder,
He didn't
She
have
Wrote,
TV.
Jeff.
I didn't have cable.
Cut
I had 4 channels.
I didn't have cable.
But the thing that it really amazes me from the show, like ignoring the fact that, it's just your average every day someone's dying type show, is the fact that they had so many big name actors on it.
Like who?
Yeah, ready for this? I'll start off like relatively like lower tier.
I'm so ready.
John Rhys Davies.
All right.
Like
Wait, really?
Yeah, Gimli. Gimli's
That's
in there.
Really cool, actually.
You have Leslie Nielsen. He was on there twice, so that I've seen so far.
Actually, that makes sense.
Different
to me.
characters each time. You had George Clooney.
Oh, really?
Really? I didn't know that.
You had Courtney Cox.
All right.
Huh.
You have, I don't know her name, but the actress who played Captain Janeway in Star Trek.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Recently there was Bill Maher.
Okay.
Bill Maher?
Yeah, thought it was Maher.
Oh, okay.
That guy.
Yeah, the guy who has like his talk show now.
Again, because he had one before. And then he lost his show because he said something politically incorrect on a show called Politically Incorrect.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a place
Certain
to do
amount
it.
of irony.
There's a bunch of these big name actors who are just like showing up in here and like, wow, that's wild.
I guess they were attracted to a big, interesting show. Or was it huge?
It was. It has over 10 seasons. I think it has like 15 seasons. Each one like 22 episodes long.
Yeah, and I don't think it was really like daytime TV. I think like there used to be like afternoon TV, right?
Yeah.
Like evening kind of instead of late night, and I think that's where Murder, She Wrote tended to fall.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for the only episode that is the reason I started watching the show for. Because all I remember is when I was a child, took place in like Scotland or something, and Murder, She Wrote, or Angela Lansbury, is that her name? Something like that?
Sure.
I don't know.
The actress is like Angela Lansbury or something. I think she might be Dame Angela Lansbury now. I'm not sure. I think she's in her 90s now. But yeah, she was running through this castle on like a spooky, stormy night. And I was like, whoa. So I'm waiting to find that episode because that's the whole reason I started watching it.
So you're looking for a Scottish episode.
Yep.
All right. Wait, is John Rhys Davies Scottish or English?
He's Welsh.
Of course he is. All right.
He's Welsh.
Yes, he's Welsh.
He was in Indiana
and
Jones.
You are correct.
And he's Welsh.
Angela Lansbury.
Yep, Angela Lansbury. I'm a genius.
And 12 seasons.
Okay.
264 episodes and 4 TV movies.
That's a fair amount. Oh, and yeah, there was a thing where there was even a crossover with Magnum PI.
Yeah, that I remember that.
Unfortunately, I
That
missed the first episode of it
remember.
because
I used to watch Magnum PI.
Yeah, they did that. They did the thing where they do like one episode in the Magnum time slot, like as a Magnum episode, and then the other one as a Murder, She Wrote.
Gotta make you watch both.
Well, I didn't watch both. Because I just had it on like play next episode. So luckily they did like a 3-minute previously on Murder, She Wrote. So I got to watch that entire first episode that way. Because that's what they did when they introduced, I want to say CSI New York.
They did a crossover.
Yeah, they did with the original CSI. So the first episode was
They did the same thing with like NCIS and
yeah, makes sense.
everything.
I mean, that was the
And
age
NCIS
of...
and JAG.
Which one was JAG?
Jag was earlier.
the-
That was before CSI. Like that's Murder, She Wrote time.
JAG? Well, JAG, NCIS started around the time JAG ended, but JAG was the Air Force lawyer show.
Yep. With the girl, I mean, you probably don't know.
JAG was Judge Advocates Corps.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was has the girl who has now gone off to be like the protagonist of the Good Witch movies that play on whatever, like the romance movies.
Yeah, don't
station.
know that one either. All right.
Has a good old Canadian boy as the lead.
Oh, fantastic.
I think he went to the same
Go
school
Canada.
as one of my parents.
Oh, neat.
But like he was a couple years younger.
Yeah, that was really the age of crime shows, wasn't it?
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, NCIS is still on television.
How many CSI shows were there even?
You had
Oh,
CSI,
4.
CSI New York, CSI Miami, and then I think now they've rebooted like CSI the original.
Yeah, so technically 4.
Yeah.
Bones.
But yeah, what else have you guys been
Yeah.
doing?
Well, I'll talk about a TV show,
Okay.
which I do think if you guys can watch it, you should. It's really easy to consume. It's like the first season was 6 25-minute episodes.
I could do that. That's like a movie.
But yeah, it's an Australian-based show. So it takes place in Australia about a hitman.
Okay.
And I don't know, I cannot explain what it is about this show.
Well, let's start with the title.
But it is...
Yeah, what's it called?
Yeah, so it's called Mr. Inbetween.
Okay.
And I found it because YouTube was just like, here's a gunfight from this show. And I watched the gunfight and I went, well, this show seems interesting. And then I watched the first season and kind of went, this is not what I expected.
Was the gunfight really cool or silly?
Oh, it was good.
Okay.
Like it was like a solid, like really good, well shot gunfight. And the rest of the gunplay, at least that I've seen in the first season, has been fantastic. Like the main character clearly knows how to shoot.
All right. Are we talking like Taken or what's that Christian Bale movie where he has no emotions?
No, we're talking like real life gun handling.
Taken. All right.
No, so I'd be more like John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Right, like it's accurate. It's an accurate portrayal of shooting, basically, as opposed to being gun fu.
It's Equilibrium. That's the one where Christian
That's
Bale
the one.
does like
Yep.
gunfire martial art.
The gun kata.
I guess I should say it's very grounded in reality, the gunplay, which makes it very like it's well shot and really visceral.
You've been shot once, you're dead. Kablam.
I mean.
Oh yeah, and like it's the only show I've ever seen where anybody actually wears body armor
Hey.
when they're about to get into a gunfight and they know they are.
They wore body armor in oh god, what's the Donald Glover, Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon. In Lethal Weapon, they wear body armor, and Lethal Weapon's love interest, Mel Gibson's, actually wears 2 bulletproof vests to stop the armor piercing round. Yeah.
Oh right, that was in the third one.
Yeah.
That one was that was ridiculous.
Would you believe I've actually never seen any of the Lethal Weapons?
Oh my god, really?
You don't
Really?
want to watch Mel Gibson dislocate his shoulder for fun?
For fun, you say?
Yeah, well,
Yes, for fun.
well, for money, actually, because he's like, I bet I can get out of this, what is it, straitjacket? Oh, no, you can't. Put money on the line. Then he just, like, dislocates his shoulder to get out of it. He's like, aha, I'm a genius.
Now, I don't know about genius, but...
And he's, like, the best hostage negotiator ever. What's that? This guy wants to jump off the roof? I'm just going to handcuff him to my arm, and I'm going to jump off first.
I controlled the jump.
Yeah, so there you go. Good movie series.
Way to sell me on it. All right.
Mr. Inbetween as well. It's like kind of a slice of life thing. So like part of the episode, he's just kind of a normal dude, right? Like looking after his kid, stuff like that. And then another part of the episode is just like all the underground stuff. It's really well written. I don't think I'm explaining it very well.
And it's all Australian, so that makes...
Yeah, it's all Australian.
So you'll have way more banter. People will call flip-flops thongs, which is fun.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
No shrimps on the Barbies.
Ugh.
What? Then it's not even Australian.
But yeah, the actor, the main actor's just phenomenal too. He's got the creepiest smile.
Well, that's good for a hitman.
That's something you put on your resume.
It's
Creepiest smile.
Well, no, so like you know how sometimes you watch like somebody who's supposed to be playing like a dude that's essentially a psychopath, and you're kind of like, I don't buy it.
Ah, yes, good old Jesse Eisenberg.
Exactly, I buy it. Right, like his mannerisms and the way he plays this guy, like I buy it.
I mean, I think my favorite psychopath actor is probably Christian Bale, like American Psycho.
What, like American Psycho?
Yeah, exactly. And apparently his portrayal was based off of Tom Cruise.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah, makes sense. Tom
Yeah,
Cruise
you
is
see
crazy.
where it's coming from. He's a good action actor, though.
He
That's
is.
the thing.
I mean, like we were talking about this the other day at dinner. Not us, obviously, but like my wife and my family. We were talking about how Tom Cruise, he's not putting out the best movie ever made. Like it's not like Oscar-winning movies, right? But the man knows how to put together a good action film.
It's always fun.
He's not a dramatic actor, so I'm not surprised he's not going up for Oscar nominations. But he does what he likes, which is getting the crap beat out of him
And running.
and making it fun.
Well, and climbing buildings and flying out of planes.
And that's why I'm sad that his Monster movie universe flopped hard.
I mean, I still haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, but was The Mummy not that good?
No, it wasn't very good. It was really unfortunate. I feel like they shouldn't have had Russell Crowe in there. He was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he was bad. But I mean, the whole movie was honestly bad. But I mean, I would watch Tom Cruise as like Ethan Hunt doing crazy, not like the first Mission Impossibles, but like the new ones where he's constantly like bashing his face on stuff and like almost killing himself.
That's what you want to see.
Where he breaks a foot.
Yeah, but like with monsters involved too. Like that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I
Get Simon Pegg in there too.
That.
Yeah, I mean, heck, why not? He can be the Headless Horseman or something.
Yeah. Get Nick Frost too. Be his horse.
I mean, let's be real. I love that Simon Pegg somehow managed to like get his foot in the door as the tech guy in Mission Impossible 3, and then somehow just was like in the field action movie star for 4. It was great.
I mean, I love how he was Scotty as well in the Star Trek
well,
movies.
yeah, that was definitely
he's
enjoyable.
supposedly still Scotty, so that's good.
Yeah.
They're talking about another one, which the actors haven't heard about. Because I guess during their, like, investor meeting, they were like, yeah, we have another great Star Trek movie planned, yada, yada, yada. And then the only reason I found out about it because, like, all the articles that were posted about were like, all the main cast have no idea another movie's happening. Here's where they first heard about it. It's like, oh, that's not good. But yeah, because then you can bring back Karl Urban, because Karl Urban should be in everything.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Have you seen The Boys yet?
I mean, I'd already seen, like, I watched the last episode of the first season, so.
Well, okay, so you've seen The Boys.
Wait, you've seen that one episode? Or
I've
others?
seen, like, I watched episode, like, 1 and 2, and, like, episode 8, so.
It's not the best way to go.
I got the
Yeah,
well,
that's-
it actually went, like, episode 8, then episode 1 and 2, because I thought episode 8 was episode 1, but, you know.
I assume you were a little confused.
Because it just auto did it for me that way for some weird reason, so that's how it happened. And then I was like, why is these big revelations happening right now in episode 1? And I was like, oh, spoilers, turns out it's episode 8. Oops.
Oh my god. Okay, well, whatever. Karl Urban is fantastic in The Boys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's amazing in everything, because he's Karl Urban, and he's the best actor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So as a renowned Karl Urban fan, you owe it to
Yes.
yourself to watch the show.
As a renowned Karl Urban fan, I should go get his autograph one day.
I mean, definitely.
Also, yes.
Get a Judge Dredd mask or something.
I can't say I give a crap about, like, celebrity worship, but if I were to have, like, one signature, it'd probably be Karl Urban.
That's fair. Maybe John Rhys Davies as well.
Yeah, John Rhys Davies is another good one. Though, I mean, again, he's been in 2 movies that I love, which is, Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I never realized who he was in Indiana Jones until just this second.
But then, and of course, Murder, She Wrote, classic character in Murder, She Wrote. But, and aside from that, the only thing I can think of that I've seen him in is, like, Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not a great movie. But then at the same time, then you're sitting there like, man, if I had another person I'd want an autograph for, it'd obviously be Sean Bean, because Sean Bean's amazing.
Yeah, get it before he dies.
You know?
Again.
It'll happen. Wonder how he
will.
feels about that, just constantly being killed off.
I mean...
He probably thinks it's funny. That's what I assume.
Yeah, he's probably just having fun. He seems like a pretty laid-back guy.
Yeah.
Actually, if I remember correctly, he's not even the actor who's died the most in his movies and TV roles.
Well, I mean, that's because he was in... He spent how many, like, hundreds of episodes playing Sharp? Because Sharp doesn't die. So that's
No, just characters, not number of times.
Okay.
Or sorry, let me rephrase. Number of... He's not the How do I... God, I'm tripping over my words. Give me a second.
He hasn't died the most
as characters.
All right.
Somebody has more characters who have died than him.
But who could it
that
be?
He's portrayed. Would that make more
sense? It's probably
sense?
like some B-movie actor who literally, like, you know how you have, like, Scream Queens?
it was actually somebody surprising.
Oh.
Just a second, I'll see if I can
Because I was going to say, like, kind of like how you have Scream Queens.
Sure.
Who just, you know, got picked up because they're good at screaming in, like, crappy B-movie horror films.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis kind of falls into that category, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, but, I mean, she was also, like, not a B-movie type person, right? Because, like, she
started in Halloween.
Yeah, but she's related to, like, actual movie stars, which is, I think...
Hell, Jennifer Aniston started in Leprechaun.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, God, yeah. So Danny Trejo has died 65 times.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, okay, but at the same time, you're sitting there like, yeah, but Danny Trejo's not, like, big name, as it were.
Well...
He's like a Luis Guzman, right?
Yeah, I guess he's not...
I mean, that's true.
God,
Luis Guzman, when he was in The Last Stand, was just fantastic. What a fan. Have you guys seen The Last Stand?
Which one is this?
It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from
is that the one with Johnny Knoxville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not know this
that movie
film.
is so enjoyable.
It's not good. Arnold's too old. He's too old.
It's so good.
Like,
it's so bad.
You had that period of time where both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone are trying to, like, break back into the movie market as, you know, like, grizzled movie action star, and their movies just flopped because everyone's like, we don't care about you guys anymore, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say straight up, I enjoyed it. It was stupid action schlock.
Yeah.
And I don't care that Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't move that good in it. It was just so fantastic. And Luis Guzman is in it and gets shot. It's just great.
I'm down for schlock sometimes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's stupid schlock.
I love me some terrible movies.
It's almost as stupid schlock as Sabotage. That movie is so bad.
I've never seen it or heard of it.
It was so bad, but so good at the same time.
That's one of my favorite styles of movie. Like, I force you both to watch The Room.
We've talked about this 3 times already.
And exactly. I'm just saying it as an example. That's a terrible movie that I forced you to
You need a new one. You need a new one, and the new one's going to be the Nicolas Cage movie with Pedro Pascal.
Oh, where he plays himself.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I probably won't be like The Room because I think it will actually be done well and not just, like, brutal. But, I mean, a man can dream.
I think it'll be well executed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if it'll be good, but it'll be well executed.
Did I ever force you to watch Robo Geisha?
No, you did not.
No.
Okay, that's another one of those so bad it's good movies. A former roommate of mine found it in a bargain bin at Best Buy, I think it was. And he bought it entirely because the back of the box said, it is an orgy of what the fuck. And that was very much an apt description. It's all about cyborg geishas that assassinate people. It's a Japanese movie. It's really, really bad. People have knives coming out of all sorts of parts of their bodies at random times in the movie. It's got terrible CGI. I love it so much.
How bad is the CGI?
I mean, lower budget. Like, say someone's jumping through the air to kick at someone, and then it shows the person getting kicked, and it's obviously someone lying on their side just swinging their legs slightly while they're kicking the other person in the head, and they're going, oh no, I'm being kicked, so terrible. There's a part in the movie where a building transforms. and becomes a giant robot, and it starts karate chopping buildings around it, and the other buildings are shooting blood out of themselves as they're getting hit.
That's actually great. That's unique.
That's
creativity. That's like peak creativity. Peak creativity when you have like low budget. I mean, you can get away with that.
There's a man who gets killed by having fried shrimp stabbed into his eyes.
I mean, if you were to ask me what I wouldn't want stabbed into my eyes, fried shrimp would be on that list.
I mean, yeah, it would be, but that's just ridiculous.
Someone dies from acid milk being sprayed from some of the assassins. It's Japanese, so they go the extra mile of being weird that I find Japanese films can really get to. Yeah, definitely recommend and would definitely force you to watch. That is a drinking movie.
It takes a turn into, like, absurd.
So next time you're here, we'll just load her up and we'll load ourselves up with booze and watch.
Absolutely. Oh, I
while
think I still have it on my computer.
While pretending to play Gloomhaven and failing miserably.
Hey, we usually get somewhere in the game.
Yeah, we usually get at least
it's
something
been, what,
down.
3 years?
Something like that. Plus, we only screwed up a fair bit, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I fixed it. I fixed our Gloomhaven campaign where we just said that we unlocked all these scenarios that we hadn't actually unlocked and gave ourselves abilities that we hadn't actually gotten yet.
Don't worry about it.
So I'm just, removing them. We can no longer breathe underwater. We can't go to the sunken treasure ships and into the cliff. So maybe we should actually do like more scenarios.
I mean, fine.
Yeah, I guess we'll play this fun game that everyone's all on board about.
It's a great game. No complaints.
If we have to.
Yeah.
Heck, I've got the Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion that we could play too if we were so inclined.
Well, I mean, I also picked up the Gloomhaven expansion, so we'll have to play that after we play Gloomhaven because it's
Gloomhaven for days, my god.
Yeah, and then I totally have kickstarted Frosthaven as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, this would count as a tabletop RPG, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super
sort of
RPG.
I mean, I guess it's not really an RPG.
It's got the combat part.
That's the one downside to the game, honestly, is the fact that there's rarely any ability for you to actually role play.
Yeah.
You can do it like twice, where you get like the road and the city event. There's like an opportunity where it gives you two options to actually roleplay, but generally you get stuck into either good or bad.
Yeah, it's pretty on the rails.
It's like if you go full good, you get bonuses and discounts on stuff. If you go full bad, you get bonuses and discounts on stuff. So it punishes you from swapping between them.
Yeah. So for anyone who didn't know what Gloomhaven is, how would you describe it?
Story-based. What do you call it? I mean, board
I
game,
feel like
kinda?
tabletop RPG.
Yeah, I guess.
I know you're not... Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty much just, you get dropped into the world, someone says, here, you have to do this, and then you run through a bunch of scenarios, and then as you complete scenarios, new ones unlock, and you track it all on, like, a giant map they give you, and
it's a dungeon crawler.
Yeah. And you tell the story of what you're trying to accomplish. So you can get locked out of certain scenarios by completing other ones. I mean, you can always replay them if you want, like, in whichever way you want. But if you just want to do, like, a narrative campaign, you can go through and do it that way, and it's pretty cool. And you can unlock new characters, and yeah.
Yeah, I think calling it a dungeon crawler is probably the most apt
I'd say it's slightly overrated for everyone who creamed their pants about it.
I mean, I could agree with that.
But I still would say it's still fun to do, just because there's an endpoint that you're working towards, as opposed to some games where it's just like, okay.
Like, it's certainly a fun game.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. But if I want to do, like, a full-on board game night with a bunch of people, I feel like I'd gravitate towards something else, like Eclipse or, Yeah,
it's
maybe,
a long-term campaign. It's not a pick it up for one night
like,
and put it away at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody else want to talk about something? Because if not, I'll talk about stuff all day long.
Just try and stop you.
Cool, so I watched Underwater.
Underwater?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How'd you end up there?
Great movie. Well, because we vaguely mentioned it. We were talking about your Deep Rising.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I haven't seen either, so I watched Deep Rising and I liked it. And I was like, I'm going to watch Underwater now. And I really liked it. It's a solid movie.
Underwater was...
How old is
the
movie?
Solid film.
It's only a couple years. 1 or 2 years.
I think
Kristen Stewart.
2019 or 2020.
Yeah. People essentially being under the ocean doing deep water mining under the ocean, and something goes wrong, and they need to escape. And they dug too greedily and too deep, and they released something.
Oh, did they?
So it's literally, just like those like stereotypical movies where you have your small group of people all trying to escape, and they get killed off one by one as they try to flee.
I have one complaint.
Oh, what's the complaint?
I have one complaint. I wish that we had started the movie a little earlier in time so that we could have do you remember the movie Alien?
Yes.
Yes, I do know
Right?
the movie Alien.
Yeah. So at the start of the movie, you kind of the crew wakes up, right? And you kind of get to know them a little bit before all the bad shit happens.
Yep.
I kind of wish Underwater had that, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Instead, we're thrown right into it, and that was my only complaint. I didn't really care about any of the characters very much because we didn't get to build, like, an understanding of who they were. They kind of just became one-dimensional story devices. That said, film is still fantastic.
I mean, I feel like that's what the movie is, though. Like, those types of films, you're not really supposed to give a crap about the characters. You're just waiting to see how they die.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, they also do that stereotypical, like, oh, and this one had a child. And I'm like, I don't care. Dude's gonna die. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I guess I just wanted to see them get along with each other so that
Yeah.
when they were upset, I could care.
Because the only thing that I thought was just, like, with Alien, it's like, here's your crew of, how many, was it like 8 or something? Like, you have your small crew. The problem is that they have, like, with their deep drill mining, is like, here's our space of hundreds of people, and the people who they have going to, like, meeting up together are all from different groups and shifts.
Well, yeah, so that's, I guess I would have kind of
No, that's the...
had them work the same shift kind of thing, because you would work with the same crew,
You'd
right?
think so.
When you were on shift. So, like, you could make them that shift crew, and they, like, just happen to work fast enough and, like, get themselves out of full-on Destructo territory. I don't know. Like, the movie was really good on its own. I just want to improve it a little bit.
Yeah, if you want, like, a horror... Not kind of horror, just, like, thriller movie night, watch Underwater. It's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I can agree with that.
So is it a bit like The Abyss?
No.
Eh,
Because A, it's not like 3.5 hours long with terrible alien CGI and weird crap going on. It's more like a Pandorum.
Okay.
Only Pandorum, if you're unaware, like Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, trapped.
Good movie.
Trapped on a ship, but as it collapses with, creatures trying to attack them, they're not exactly trying to escape. They're just trying to figure out what the heck's going on and why their ship is stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that, like, dark, claustrophobic. If you've ever played Soma, Underwater is pretty much Soma, the movie.
Okay. So I'm a big fan of Pandorum and Soma, so this is sounding really right up my alley.
Yeah.
you should probably watch it.
Yeah.
It would probably be right up your alley.
Fun tangent. Do you remember in The Abyss where there was a rat that was breathing a fluid?
I remember.
Oxygenated water?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That was real.
That's an actual
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that was real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, science, you scary.
Science is cool. In the words of the great Bill Nye. Science rules.
I don't like thinking about breathing liquid.
Well, I don't like the idea of being underwater to begin with, so...
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Though I do like scuba diving.
Until you die.
Yeah, until that point.
I'm not gonna go, like, anywhere that I'm likely to die.
Here lies Larry. He thought he wasn't
Yeah.
going to die.
He was wrong.
And then he did.
Yep.
And they'll never find your
Or me.
body.
That sounds like a threat.
Well, it's true, though. Like, I remember watching a YouTube video, and, like, it was a, like, not the funeral director, but, like, the person who embalms the bodies.
Sure.
She has a YouTube
The
channel.
embalmer?
Yeah, well, I mean, they have, like, an actual position title.
Yeah,
Mortician,
they're
I guess.
called the
No, like,
embalmer?
mortician.
I guess the mortician.
Sounds right.
And yeah, she was telling stories about how there are, like, there's a caving system where people have gone down and just died. Like, obviously, like, they've scuba dived and died. And she's telling a story about one guy who went down to try to recover a body, and, like, at that depth, like, recovering bodies is more dangerous, like crazy. So he got there, tried to grab the body to bring it back. The body was so old and decomposed that it started, like, breaking up in his hands, and then it, like, he got trapped in it, they assume. And so the body, like, broke up. He exhausted himself, and then he died. And the body that he was trying to recover, because it got...
I know what you're
because it
talking
got
about.
jogged loose, it floated back to the top, so they were able to recover that body. And the other guy who went down to get that body Body has never been recovered.
Yeah, so that's there's a movie on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary called I think it's Dave Isn't Coming Back, and it's about that dive. So what had happened was that some like people who study decomposition. Wow, there's the word. Had told the diver that was going down that there wouldn't be any skin left. Or anything. When he got to the body, the skin and fat had turned into some type of oily solution that then floated, and it got caught up in his diving lines.
Gross.
And he drowned that way. Like he had to like fight to get out from being wrapped up in it, and then just died.
And this was in a cave, right?
Yeah, it was in a cave system in Australia.
Yeah. So I already don't trust caving. Like, mountains are great. Going inside them? No. No, thank you.
So you're saying you're not a dwarf?
I got a lot of looks of the dwarf. I got the height of a dwarf. I've got the fuzz of a dwarf. I am not, however, fan of going underground. No, thank you.
Well then, good luck getting John Rhys Davies' signature.
I'll do my
everybody
best.
knows that he lives in the mines.
Yeah, that's the only place you can find him.
The Welsh mines of Hugga Flig, because you can't pronounce anything in Welsh.
How rude. But yeah, caving, I don't see the appeal of having many, many tons of rock just pressing down on you while you're trying to hold your breath or, like, not breathe so you can squeeze through a gap.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky. I'm a big boy, so I can't fit in there anyway. So I don't have to have that choice.
Just lube yourself up. You'll slide right through.
It's like a reoccurring nightmare for me is being trapped in like a cave like that, or alternatively, like a collapsed.
Yeah, that would be terrible as well.
Yeah, though. No, like I have nightmares about it.
The only time you'll see me lubed up is when I'm pulling a Danny DeVito and I'm coming out of the sofa.
I understand that reference.
So do I.
I mean, it's a pretty commonly known meme.
As it should be. It's his greatest role, I think.
I mean, probably, if we're honest.
Danny DeVito has some really good roles, but yeah.
Did he direct
probably.
Matilda, or was he just starring in it as well?
I think he just starred in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because one of my favorite comedies is actually directed by Danny DeVito, and he's in it as well as a side character. It's Death to Smoochy.
Oh no, Danny DeVito directed Matilda.
Fantastic, all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
But have you seen Death to Smoochy?
No,
No.
I have not.
Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Maybe.
I definitely have.
Is that... Oh, the Robin Williams one. Yeah.
Like, I'm always surprised by how many people haven't heard or seen this one, because it's got
heard of it.
Edward Norton, Robin Williams, Danny DeVito.
John Stewart.
Really young-looking John Stewart. My God, he looks like a teenager. It's ridiculous. But it is such a funny movie. I think of the Robin Williams quotes all the time. He's Rainbow fucking Randolph. Oh, it's so good. And it's just mocking children's shows. And it was definitely a product of its time, what it was talking about, because, of course, the whole thing is kind of mocking Barney and the craze of things being on ice. Like, back in the day, there was Aladdin on ice, Toy Story on ice, every Disney thing on ice.
I went to Stars on Ice.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I don't care about it to begin with, but my sister wanted to see it, so my mom took us.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah, I saw Aladdin on ice.
How was
way
it?
back in the day. It was fun. I was really impressed by how the carpet could skate.
The ones I want to watch are like the where they play Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, and they have like the orchestra doing the soundtrack. That's what I want to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day.
Yeah,
Maybe
I always
one
wanted
day.
to see that one that was like all video game music.
Oh, yeah.
It was going around for a while, but I never managed to catch it.
I know the one you're talking about.
The
Yeah.
closest I ever got to any of that was... I can't remember who I was going there to see. I went to a concert, and I can't remember, but the opening act was Breaking Benjamin, and the only thing they've really ever done of note that anybody knows is they wrote the song that was used in like the trailer for Halo 2 when it was coming out.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So when they performed the song, they had a bunch of like Halo 2 cinematics like projected onto the back of the stage. I was like,
That's hilarious.
That's pretty cool.
I remember going to a Bare Naked Ladies concert, and Red vs. Blue introduced them.
Wow, that's
And
weird.
that's how I discovered Red vs. Blue.
That was how you discovered it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
day I should watch that show, like all of it.
I can't remember
Yeah.
where I stopped in it.
I think I stopped in
Oh,
like
God.
season 3.
Like, it went for
I think I made
long
it into
time.
4 or
It did.
5.
It
Well, they made a whole like career out of it.
Yeah, they're still going.
So good for them.
Playing video games. It's good for your career.
Well, they made
Yeah.
an anime, so there you go.
Did they?
Yeah, Ruby
Oh, right. That was the animator who died.
died. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they made all the money they'll ever need.
Good for them.
Yeah, but I think we did a show.
Did we?
We did. We talked
I mean,
about stuff. I got
yeah.
to yell about the Expanse.
You got to talk about underwater.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but the Expanse is the main reason.
I got to talk about Mr. Inbetween, which seriously you should watch.
I got to talk about the Owl House, which you probably won't watch, but I'm going to say you should.
There's a chance.
Oh, I mean,
there's a
there's a chance.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
in like 7 years, when I finally finish all the hundreds of episodes of Murder She Wrote, maybe I'll remember it.
It's just a pleasant show, and I liked it.
I like Pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Pleasant.
If that's what you're in the mood for, go for that. If you want some slightly raunchier comedy, I guess, go for Death to Smoochy. It's not that raunchy,
Yeah.
but a lot of swearing.
Curse
Yeah, I mean, I
words.
should watch it. Who doesn't like Robin Williams?
And Edward Norton.
Well, I mean, apparently Edward Norton's an asshole.
Maybe that helped him in the role.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Perfect. But he's been great,
He's been grim.
and he's been Larry.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have a new name for you next time.